I am working on the journey now, but I didn't realize that I used to really struggle with commitment. And I think for me, I struggled with commitment from after my first marriage. So my first marriage failed, and that failed under 3 years. And that really hit me. Hi everyone, welcome back to Eliadefab. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Eliadefab. So if you're new to this channel, I'm introducing myself so you can know who I am. I hope you guys are well. Welcome to a new video this week, and thank you for joining. Thank you. Okay, so today's video would be a vulnerable moment with Elizabeth video. As you guys know, if you've been following me since last year, I said I was going to be doing vulnerable moments videos with Elizabeth, vulnerable moments with me, sharing real vulnerable moments of experiences of my life, experiences of things that is currently going on in the world, and basically my take on it. So yes, welcome to the first vulnerable moment video of 2024 with moi, and I'm going to be taking you guys along with me on one of the topics that I feel is super important in our generation, super important in life. I will be making this a series because there are 3 things that are heavy on my mind that I want to share. Okay, and those 3 things are commitment, insecurities, and flaws. They've been really heavy on my mind based on things that I've been going through, and based on things that I've witnessed with loved ones, friends, family, even colleagues. So it was just really heavy on my mind to talk about it. So yes, so I'm taking you guys along with me on this vulnerable moment. And if you haven't been following me, welcome. If you're new, welcome to my channel, and I hope you learn a thing or 2 from this vulnerable moment video that I'm sharing. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is commitment. Yes, so what's my take on commitment? My generation and the Gen Z generation, we've been struggling with commitment, and I think that we've been struggling with commitment based on what we've seen from experiences of the past. I can say for one, for myself, I am working on the journey now, but I didn't realize that I used to really struggle with commitment. And I think for me, I struggled with commitment from after my first marriage. So my first marriage failed, and that failed under 3 years. And that really hit me. It hit me because of a lot of things. It hit me because the time when my marriage failed was when I needed my marriage the most, a lot. I needed my ex-husband. I needed him to act as the husband that he had vowed and promised. I was very sick, and at the time I needed him the most, he wasn't there, and that really hit me. I didn't realize how much it created such a void in me, where I became subconsciously very committed to not being committed. So I knew that I wanted to be with somebody, but I was like, I'm not going to get married again. I'm not going to... In my head, if things got bad, I would jump ship. Period. Easy peasy. Because obviously things that I had been through, which as much as I'm sharing, it's still very vulnerable in my life. It's really my life. So I'm sharing this because I want people to know that you can look inside yourself and you can self-reflect and self-realize that you're going through something, going through a journey, going through an experience, and realize that that experience could be the reason why you don't do certain things, for example. So for me, I did struggle with committing, and it's taken me a couple of other relationships to realize that I've been struggling with commitment. And I think that could be the reason why a lot of people, Gen Z, millennials, we have seen, our families, we've seen loved ones, we've seen our parents even struggle with commitment. So I realized that there is that pattern. When I decided to do a lot of self-reflection and healing in 2023, because in 2022 I realized that I needed therapy, guys. So it's really important. It's really, really important. I would advise anybody to do therapy. So in 2022, I started to really do a lot of self-reflection, inward search, and 2023, I was just like, okay, even in 2022 into 2023, I was like, the partner that I was with at the time, I was definitely consciously working towards, that was it, that was my last stop. He was my last stop, and I would work towards making sure that I felt more inclined to be committed. So obviously leading into 2023, the disaster happened. If you've watched my IVF journey, thank you so much for watching. That's one of my first vulnerable moment videos. So going through that and then losing the partner at the time just hit me like a train track. It really hit me and made me realize that I was picking men who weren't strong enough to commit to me when, excuse my language, shit hits the fan. So I then realized in 2023, from a place of a lot of self-healing and self-reflection, that I basically was picking them based on things that I needed to work on and go through in my life. So then I decided in 2023 I was going to be more conscious of what I was doing. And it took me way back to my childhood, guys, and this is why I decided to do a topic on commitment, because sometimes if you find yourself struggling with committing, and it's not because he's cheating on that girl, that girl's cheating on him, or if you find yourself do a lot of inner self work and you find that you as a person, you struggle with commitment, or you struggle with wanting to be with someone for a while, or you struggle, the idea of being with someone for that long scares you, makes you anxious, you really need to find out the root of where that's coming from. Could that be coming from a place where you've seen it before, you've experienced it from a family member, from a loved one, or you've experienced it from yourself, where you have committed and obviously that failed, and that's hit you subconsciously, where you've subconsciously are projecting and attracting people that would always make that unconscious bias become conscious, if that makes sense. So I realized that I was obviously projecting a certain type of energy and looking at a certain type of spec, even though I really wanted someone that will stand the test of time and will last. Subconsciously, I am picking a generational pattern. if that makes sense. So I find myself picking a generational pattern that I need to break in my life, and commitment, and seeing this generational pattern in my families where there is no strong, solid commitment in the long term. I then started to do a lot of inner work, and I was like, okay, I need to be very conscious of who I'm attracting, and not because I'm getting butterflies in my stomach because he's tall, dark. As you, some of you know, you've been with me for a while, my specs, I like my dark chocolates, I like them black, okay, period. So it's not, so I've got to a point in a place of maturity in my life where it's not because they're tall, dark, handsome, can speak, or have attained certain things in my life. I've come to realize that I need to find what I need. I need to start attracting men that can stand the test of time. When things happen in life, what's that man like? What's his attitude with other people? What's he doing? And same way is as a woman as well, as a guy as well, when you're attracting your woman, what's she like? How does she relate with others? How does she tell you if she's going to handle a situation? If a situation becomes chaotic, how does she handle it? Does she jump ship? Is she someone that would give you loads of excuses first? Is she someone that'll say, that's not me, I'm out? You know, is she someone that says, I can't handle this, I'm done? Is she someone that gets overwhelmed too quickly and jumps ship? Is he the same way? So that's how I have started to see things differently now. I am looking from a place of, how can this person manage chaos? How can this person handle situations and circumstances, sicknesses, life? How can they handle it? How do they handle their parents? How do they handle their mom? How do they handle their dad? How do they handle their siblings? Do they care? Are they caring? Are they people that shout a lot? Are they people that get angry too quick? Are they people that get offended too quick? Do you know what I mean? All those things contributes to what you see commitment lasting as. And so for me, I started to look at things very, very differently. I started to think, okay, how will commitment be for me? And I started to ask myself these questions. How am I like? You know, how do I handle chaos? Do I jump ship so quickly? Do I get offended really easily? Do I let people explain themselves? Am I abusive? Am I temperamental? You know, and I've come to realize, which leads me into my next one, which are my flaws and insecurities. Okay, I know that I have one flaw that is I feel is an insecurity for me, but it's also one of my strengths. It's also one of my flaws. I am very strong and independent. I'm very fiery, okay? And I am a go-getter. I go and get what I want, okay? That can be an insecurity for a man, okay? A man can get insecure with having a woman who is such a strong alpha female, a woman who is very independent, a woman who's a go-getter, a woman who knows that she's highly achieving, can be a threat to a man. All right, and that should not be any woman's fault. If you've got that personality, that shouldn't be your fault, okay? But because of this same personality that we have, we also need to find the balance, if that makes sense, because it can also be a flaw, because it can make you, that alpha female can come across very strong and masculine at the same time. And I know that I've been working on this journey where the Holy Spirit has been teaching me to find my balance. So it's important to find your balance. And, you know, God has really been walking on this journey with me in 2023. And this is why I chose the whole of 2023 that I wasn't going to be in a relationship, because I really wanted to do a lot of inner self work. I really wanted to make sure I'm healing very well. I'm in a place where I'm emotionally, mentally strong. I'm in a place where I can understand my triggers, okay, and I'm not gaslight the person or make the person feel like they might be telling me the truth, but I've been triggered. If this is making any sense, I hope I'm making sense, guys. But these are the vulnerable things that God wants me to talk about, to share, and to see if it will help one or two people. So going into insecurities, you need to identify your insecurities, and it's okay, guys. I think we all need to stop this, where we make people feel because they have a certain insecurity, that's it, they're not good enough. We all have insecurities, we all do, no matter how amazing or president or celebrity, we all have a form of insecurity or the other. And we need to realize and identify our insecurities and say, okay, this is my insecurity, I'm okay with it, right? I'm okay identifying my insecurity, right? I just need to work on it and find the balance. Once you're able to identify your insecurities, you're able to identify your flaws, even when you get triggered, you don't allow yourself to become so vulnerable to the next person. When I say so vulnerable, I mean in a negative way, where you attack, okay? You attack straight away. You're like, okay, my insecurity, I can see there's an insecurity coming out here. I am mature enough to raise my hand up and say, yes, I'm sorry, I'm working on it, don't use it against me, because we know people use these things against us. You can definitely confidently say, don't use it against me, I am fully aware of it, and trust me, I'm a lot better than what I used to be. Okay, I'm a lot better, things are getting better with me, right? And there is a balance.